Philadelphia Eagles here. We've told you guys a player to buy and a player to sell, but Tori, give me a player that is going to be that's been flying under the radar that is going to have a great season, a sleeper pick per se.
I don't think it's going to be a great season, but it's going to be a better season. It's going to be more consistent, and both of y'all can already shut your pie holes with this one because it is going to be Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is going to be a lot better quarterback with this year. I think the stability is going to help him. He was looking over his shoulder the whole time he was starting last year.
He was
with Carson Wentz. Doug Peterson lost that locker room. He lost that team. There was internal fighting. Nobody knew what was going on. And so I think that's where a lot of the inconsistency you saw from Jalen Hurts. Am I saying Jalen Hurts is going to be an all-pro, Pro Bowl quarterback? No. But I think you're going to see a more consistent quarterback and better quarterback play out of him. And it's going to be something that nobody expects because everybody expects him to come out and be terrible. And I don't think he's going to be terrible. I think he's going to be serviceable. And he will lead them to a couple of wins that I don't think that they were expected to do. There's going to be games that he looks like, oh my God, this guy looks just like he did in college, where he was the second coming of whoever, and then there's going to be other games.
Throwing arm.
Right. Then there's going to be other games where you're like, this guy is awful. This is like the second coming of Ron Jaworski
Tim Couch. Tim Couch is out on the field, everybody.
I mean, technically, would say the second coming of Doug Peterson because Doug Peterson started a few games for the Eagles when he was a player.
What? Who's your sleeper pick for this year?
Man, and it ticked me off when you said this earlier, Tori, because I was so excited to say this. The person that Tori is buying is my sleeper. Now, we are both into fantasy football, so me and Tori know exactly who Dallas Goedert is. Well, let me tell you about Mr. South Dakota State. He is awesome. It is so much fun to watch him play, and he had a spike at the end of last year where he really kind of hit his groove. As you kind of saw Ertz, they had this sense of passing of the torch at a little bit later than midseason, probably 2 weeks after, about week 10. They had this like passing the torch where like Zach Ertz just stopped and Goddard became that number one guy, and he had started playing great. So I think Goddard has to be my sleeper option here. He's a great tight end with a ton of potential. He's a guy who sat behind Ertz, so he's learned a lot from a really good tight end option, a guy who was a top 5 tight end for a long time while he was, and he still may be. It depends on where he goes and what he does there. But, so I think I'm really excited to see what Goddard does. He is literally a clone of Zach Ertz. If you watch them next to each other, they look the exact same. If you don't know which number is which and their names weren't on the back of their jersey, you would not be able to tell them apart. I'm telling you, they look the exact same. They play the exact same. And Philly has a really special tight end coming up right now that 90% of the NFL world does not know about. I'm telling you, Mr. South Dakota State, Mr. FCS is going to be awesome for the Philadelphia Eagles. He is my sleeper, 110%. I've been saying this all offseason to all my Philadelphia Eagle friends, Blake, that Dallas Goedert is going to be awesome. I cannot wait to see what he does. He's going to be very exciting to watch.